Hello, this is a quick video that describes the Practicum program that you have signed up for. My name is Frank Sendejas, and I am a certification candidate going through the Life Coach School program. This is a one-year certification program. The first half of the program is reflected or concentrates on the Practicum, which is a portion of what you have signed up for. So the Practicum program, the purpose is that this Practicum serves as an opportunity for me to develop and refine my coaching delivery of the model. The result is that the model is a coaching framework used by the coach school and provides guidance and clarity to arrive at a purposeful and serving solution to any life situation. The underlying premise of the model is that our thoughts create the experience we are having. And since the only thing we have complete control and dominion over is our thoughts, then we have the power to step into a powerful and serving experience for the circumstances encountered by learning to develop thought mastery. The result is that you will benefit by having non-serving and difficult situations in your life addressed through your thought mastery. So what are the details? Well, we will have 12 practicum calls. Each call will be roughly 30 minutes. And the calls can be spread over a 12-week period, starting from April 15th through July the 7th. And you can choose to complete the calls in a shorter time frame if that serves your purpose. For example, if you wanted to have 3 calls one week and 9 the next, then that works. Ultimately, you get to decide the call frequency over the 12 weeks. However, at the very least, it does have to be 1 call per week. My recommendation is that you schedule your calls as soon as possible because time slots are currently being taken up by other participants. So what happens once you schedule a call? You will get a notification 24 hours before your call takes place. The notification will have the time and the date, as well as the link to the Zoom call that you will be on. And as I mentioned, each call will take place using Zoom. It will be recorded, and a few of them will be submitted for practicum review and feedback purposes by the credentialing body of the Life Coach School for my certification. This practicum program is coaching. It is under the umbrella of education. This is not counseling, and this is not therapy. Therefore, there's no diagnosis that'll take place. You are a client, not a patient. As a result, you and I are co-creating the solutions, and you are 100% responsible for your results. I am not. So let's describe a little bit of what we'll be stepping through. The framework developed by the Life Coach School is called the model, and it focuses on a few things. One, there's 5 key elements that make up the model. Those are circumstances, and these are facts that everybody agrees to be true. And a circumstance can trigger a thought or many thoughts. As we go through the model, we'll focus on having a one-line sentence that we have about the circumstance. This is the thought that's describing the circumstance. And the thought causes a feeling. It's a single word describing the vibration from our thought. That would be something like, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm confused. Feelings cause actions. And this is the response/reaction or lack thereof stemming from the feeling. So if you were angry, what did you do? Ultimately, your action causes a result, and this is the outcome created or experienced from the action. What the model reflects is that any result that you have serves as evidence to reinforce your thoughts. How do our calls work? We get on the call, I'll start by asking you to provide a thought download. This can take place something like, hey, Sally, what's on your mind? Okay, well, and Sally for the next several minutes goes through a complete unfiltered thought download. I always have, I felt, so I did, this is what happened. Then I said, why don't you just? He just wouldn't listen, and I just can't. She said, you're so blah, blah, blah. You see what I mean? And at some point, the thought download will start to slow down. And then you'll say, okay, I think I'm through. And so what we have here is then an opportunity to take a look at your thought. Both of us will observe the thought download without any kind of judgment, criticism, comparison, shame, or guilt. Okay, Sally, thank you for the download. Imagine that download took place and we captured it on a sheet of paper, perhaps many sheets of paper. And then we start to review the thought download. Okay, and this is something that we're trying to separate ourselves from the actual thoughts. We'll then identify one item from your download, or it's something that you specifically want to talk about. In this example, the thought can be, and I just can't. Okay, this is where we start to step through the process of putting that download into the model. Say, okay, where does that belong within the model? Is it a circumstance? Is it a thought? Is it a feeling? Is it an action? Or is it a result? So we'll put that downloaded item into the model, and then we'll work the model up and we'll work it down. And what we'll understand is the causal effects of the thought download. Well, let's say if the thought was, and I just can't, what was the associated feeling to that thought? What did I do as a result of having that feeling, and what was the outcome? What we'll also focus on is separating the circumstance from the thought. Recall the circumstance is that this is a fact. This is something that everybody will agree to. What we'll do then is we'll identify what is the thought that's available to you given the circumstance. So you'll notice the circumstance is a fact and that hasn't changed. So what can change is the thought about the circumstance. And we'll work our way down from here and say, okay, if I had this kind of thought, what could I feel? What would be my action and what would be my result? What we're really doing here and identifying is that we will understand that we can choose to have an intentional versus the default unintentional thought for any given circumstance. The circumstance, again, is the fact. That's not going to change. What can change is being an empowered individual with your thoughts or a disempowered individual with your thoughts. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you and give you some insight of what the model is, how it works, how our calls are going to proceed, and I look forward to starting this process with you. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. I'll respond as soon as possible. Talk to you later.